Right, we're good to go.
Okay, beautiful people. Shh. Actually, Scarlett, can you do me a favour? Because Amara's going to come back in. And instead of him interrupting our lesson, I might give you Amara's things. And then he can just get started straight away. Okay, there you go, beautiful. Can you take that for Amara as well, please? Thank you. Shh. Clean. Amara B, he's just gone to take Raph to sick bay, darling. He's not feeling well, okay? With you to Mr. Davies' class. Shh. Daniel, I'm still waiting for you to clear your table. Shh. Oh, do you not have a pencil, Scarlett? Shh. Thanks, Mr. Davies. Shh. Daniel, let's go, darling. We're all waiting for you. Daniel, stop and look at me, darling. We're all waiting for you.
2 days ago I found it in Games Club.
You too? You can sort it out at after school. Now's class time. It's our time. We need to get started. We won't get our game later, okay? Okay, eyes up, beautiful people. Shh. Give me a thumbs up. How was PE? Or down? Shh. Bit mixed. What did you do today in PE, Scarlett?
We did what we normally do in gymnastics.
So you started gymnastics. Awesome. What about before? I said thumbs up or down? Thumbs up and down. Show me how performing arts was. I'm going to choose someone who's got their thumb up or down to answer my question. Oh, that's not so good. I'm going to try and do positive. Aidan, what did you do in performing arts? Your thumbs up. Awesome, so you got through too. Awesome. And I believe that's why I could see some things around this room. Daniel, is that right, puppets? You are allowed to take them home now. Make sure they're in your bag so you don't lose them. Thumbs up or down, how was your lunchtime? Right up or down? Shh, awesome. Shh, close your tub. Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's get going. Eyes on me. Michael, eyes on me. Okay, so yesterday we started our integrated maths and science lesson and we looked at pulse and heart rate, didn't we? Let's recap a little bit, okay? So let's think about what did we learn yesterday about heart rate? What is, oh, thank you for taking your risk, Selena. Your heartbeat, yep, who wants to add to that?
Your heart rate is technically BPM.
What is a BPM, Callum?
Beats per minute, and the way you can measure beats per minute is it by finding your pulse and your pulses at your BPM, and then you wait for 10 seconds while counting your BPM, and then you times it by 6.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday, didn't we? That it's really tricky to calculate our beats per minute. It's a long time to count your heart rate for a minute. There's an easier way to do it. Do you remember how we calculated it yesterday, Jazzy? We didn't count for a whole minute. We only counted for 10 seconds. But because we only counted for 10 seconds, we had to multiply it by 6 because there's 60 seconds in a minute. Amara, darling, you're next door. Scarlett's already taken your writing book and your pencil, so you're ready to go. Okay. We calculated different heart rates yesterday, or beats per minute. We talked about resting heart rate. What is a resting heart rate? Sorry, do you want to say it louder? Yeah, sitting down when you've rested, when you're not doing activities. You're right. So right now we could probably, now that you've sat down and had a few minutes, we could probably now calculate our beats per minute for our resting heart rate, couldn't we? Because we're nice and calm. Okay? We've talked about how we calculate it, haven't we? Who remembers where do we feel our pulse? Where's a good place to feel it? I'm going to go someone different. Owen.
Neck, chest, wrist, thumb.
Yeah, probably your two best are either on your neck or on your wrist. And it's a little bit tricky, isn't it, getting your resting heart rate? Why is it tricky getting your resting heart rate? That was our tricky one. What made it hard, Amara? It's quite faint because you're resting, you're calm. Your heart, how's your heart pumping when your heart, so you've got a resting heart rate when you're calm? How does it pump? Someone other than Callum. What about, okay, what if I say, what about if we change the intensity and you're not resting and we did something that's high intensity? What would happen to your heart rate then? It goes faster. What happens when your heart rate goes faster? Not only does your heart beat quicker and you have more beats per minute, but what happens to you physically in your body? What are you doing? Think about, how do you look? How do you sound? Well done, breathing heavily. You're panting, aren't you? Yeah. How might your face look if you're breathing heavily? Few people still have a face like this. I think they've been running around outside. Jazzy, how do you think people's faces look when they've been breathing heavily and doing something that's high intensity, like our star jumps yesterday? Face is tired, yeah. It might be also how you feel. Ada? Exhausted. What about a colour? How does your face go? Because normally it's quite, looks normal. It's a little red, yeah. Looks different, doesn't it? So we talked about how exercise, didn't we, increases your heart rate, makes it go faster. Let's go and have a look at this. I've got a visual here for you. We filled in a sheet like this yesterday. Who wants to recap for me? What did we do yesterday in our groups? What did we do with the sheet? Aiden? Yeah, we did. We measured out beats per minute, doing resting, and then something that's medium intensity. What did we do for medium? Remind me, Aiden. Walking around, and then we upped the intensity, didn't we? And we did star jumps to do our high intensity. So we filled in this chart yesterday and we calculated our beats per minute after 3 different types of activities, didn't we? Resting, mid-intensity and high intensity. Okay. Should we have a little practice? Should we recap and see? And I might even do a sticky note today because I've got a feeling you guys were really quick yesterday. We might be able to do a little bit more maths in our session yesterday. Because yesterday, we just really looked at, didn't we, calculating our beats per minute, multiplying how many beats we had over 10 seconds times 6. So today I'm hoping I might be able to push a little bit of maths onto you. So we're going to start maybe with finding our resting heart rate again in practice. I'll get you to jot it down on this sticky note. Mr. Davies, do you want to go and pass them around? So remind me again, someone else, how are we going to work out our resting heart rate? How are we going to calculate it? What are we going to do? I'm going to choose someone else who's going to be brave and take a risk. It's on the board if you're not sure. Have a look. Miriam, what are we going to do?
We're going to times it by 6.
Yep, so how long are we going to count for?
Over 10 seconds.
Beautiful. Okay, so find it. Have a go, see if you can find it today. We had 3 goes yesterday. So if you're one of those people who thinks they can find it on their neck, Rayan, remember 2 fingers. Why can't I use my thumb? Why is the thumb no good when I'm trying to... Your thumb has its own pulse, you're right. So have a go, see if you can find it first time Mr. Davies is coming around. You do have to push quite hard to find your resting or on your wrist. Shh. Shh. Okay. Just going to give you a few seconds. Shh. Okay. So remember, we are only going to count the beats we can feel over 10 seconds. Can you get a pencil out so you're ready to record that number on your sticky note? Michael, we're going to listen. First number you're going to write down. I don't want you to use the whole sticky note. Mr. Davis, can I have a sticky note so I can show them how big to write their numbers? I want you to start with how many beats you count in the 10 seconds. So mine's here. Shh. Get your pulse because we're going to do it together. Shh. 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 I've really got to phone fine by now. Chloe's ready. Okay. Daniel, yeah, good one's your heart if you're not quite sure. Are you ready? Your 10 seconds starts. Now go. Stop counting. Eyes, write your number. Here, don't use the whole. Shh. If you didn't count properly, you can always use mine. Now, what I want you to do, apply our maths from yesterday. We didn't calculate our beats per minute. We've only done over 10 seconds. Can you multiply your number by 6 to work out what your beats per minute is? So mine was 10. 10 by 6 equals 60 beats per minute. Shh. If you're really good at maths, you might need to help someone sitting next to you because I haven't given you calculators. Shh. Shh. Give me a thumbs up when you've done that. Well done, Amara. Shh. Shh. Okay. So I had 60 beats per minute. Stand up if your heart rate was less than 60 beats per minute. Anyone get less? Ooh.
Less than what?
60 beats per minute. Shh. Rebecca, what did you get? Shh. Let you work it out. Ada, what did you get? 30 beats. Yours very slow. Miriam? 48. You're a little higher. Somo? 48. Okay, so some people got lower than 60. Stand up if you got more than 60. Oh, yours is a bit higher. Shh. Shh. Just stand. Chloe, what was your BPM? 76. Anyone higher than 76? Jake, what did you get? 84. Yours is really pumping. Anyone higher than 84? Michael? 90. 90. Higher than 90. Selena? Oh, your heart really is pumpy, Callum.
150.
Oh, that's a big, isn't there?
My resting heart rate.
There's a
Wow.
big difference in our lowest and highest. Why do you think they're different? Shh. Oh, sorry, Somo. Can you say that again? What do you mean by that? Voices off, Jessica. What do you mean, Somo? More relaxed. So it could be on how you're feeling. Anyone else want to add to why you think there's a difference?
Because some people need more blood to pump around their body because they're like bigger.
So you think it has to do with size, how big you are?
Because they need more blood to go around through them. But if you're big,
Put your hand up. Sorry, remember to put your hand up. You might have something really interesting to say. Soma, why did you think Selena, what was your problem with what Callum said about size?
look at the size of Selena.
Because she's, when you think about if size has something to do how fast your heart beats, Selena's not that big. So why was hers so fast? Shh. Anyone else want to have a guess what else might explain why there's a difference? Shh. Do you think there's, if we got, oh, don't know, I was going to say I'm probably the oldest person in this room. Do you think there should be a difference then between mine and say, I know, where's a year 4, Scarlett's a year 4. Should there be a difference between me and Scarlett? I'm 42. Scarlett, how old are you? 9. Do you think age could, but Scarlett, what did you get?
60.
Oh, I got 62. So maybe. Okay, today, shh. We're going to do a little bit more. Eyes down, eyes up. Thank you. Voices off. I wanted to do a little bit more maths with you, and we're going to do that next before we get started in our groups. Today, we are going to design an experiment, okay, to increase a resting heart rate by 50%. I'm going to read that again. Today, in your teams, you're going to design an experiment to increase the resting heart rate by 50%. So we need to be able to calculate that heart rate. What would a heart rate be if we wanted to increase it by 50%? What maths would we have to use? SOMO. There's an example on the board, and look, it's exactly what I got. So if my beats per minute was 60 BPM, and I wanted to increase it by 50%, how would I work out? How many beats per minute would my heart then need to beat to have an increase of 50% of 60? And how did you work it out? Shh. Jake, do you want to have a go?
Well, I think 50% of 60 is 30 because it's half.
Yep, 50% is half because whole 60. Half of 60 is 30. 50%, yep, or a half. You're absolutely right. So half would be 30. So then what would my heart rate need to be to have an increase of 50%? It's not 30. What would it be? 90. I add, don't I? 60 plus 30. Here's a bit of maths to get you started. Shh. Can you work out, can you apply that? Let's do one more together and then see if you can do it tomorrow. To work out what would your heart rate need to be that we calculated before to have an increase of 50%? What would it need to get up to? Who can give me their heart rate who's different to 60? Ooh, I'm not going to go right up high because that's going to hurt my maths. Aiden, what was your heart rate?
So it was 48 and it got to 72.
So should we choose 148 or 7? Oh, so your heart rate, Aiden, was 42. You've already done the maths, haven't we? 42 is 100%. The whole, what is half of 42? Someone other than Aiden. 48, sorry. So half of 48, who can help me? What's 50% or half of 48? Rebecca? 24. So what would Aiden's heart rate have to reach if he was going to have an increase of 50%? What do I need to do to those two numbers, Rebecca? Absolutely right. 8 and 4 is 12, 4 and 2 is 6 and 1 is 7. Means Aiden would have to have 72 beats per minute to have a 50% increase. Do you want to have a go? Can you see if you can work out what would your heart rate need to be to have a 50% increase from the number you've had? See if you can work out the maths. Sorry, Michael? Pardon?
My heartbeat's an odd number.
Oh, an odd number. What do you do with an odd number? 0.5. See if you can get Callum to help you. Shh. Was 54 your number? Which number?
54 is half.
What one number did you start with? What were your beats per minute to start with? What's half of 108? Here, we'll put it on the board. Shh. Shh. Yep. Shh. So 108. Half is 54. Add them together. It's a lot, Selena. Shh. Who wants to do a quick share? Thumbs up if you've worked out what would your heart rate be if you had a 50% increase. Shh. Ooh, a few of you. Shh. Miriam, what did you start with? What were your beats per minute first?
48.
Shh. So you had the same as Aiden, did you? Half of 24, add them together, you get 72. Shh. Someone with something different, who had a different beats per minute for their 50% increase? Daniel, what was your starting heart rate? 78. I'm going to have to get some room. Daniel, did you work out what's half of 78?
39.
Yep. And then what did you get? What would you have to get to have a 50% increase in your original heart rate?
179.
Yep. Well done, Daniel. Shh. Shh. Anyone else want to share? Shh. Shh. Anyone else who wants to share hasn't had a go? Michael, what was your starting heart rate? 90. What's half of 90, Michael?
45.
So what would you have to get to have a 50% increase?
35.
Awesome. Okay. Get the idea, hands down. Shh. Okay, now I've done a bit of maths. I feel like we've ticked off maths today. Let's look at our science part and designing the experiment and what I'm looking for. Okay? Shh. Oh, science, yay. You're going to be real scientists. So we're going to do a real experiment. So we need to include things in our experiment that you do in science. So you have to have a hypothesis. Do you know what a hypothesis is?
Hypothesis is basically what the meaning of the science experiment technically is.
What you're trying to do, what you're trying to aim to do. So we're trying to increase the heart rate by 50%, aren't we? So we have to think of an activity, don't we? Then we've got some material. So you need to think about what would people need to do this experiment, because today we're writing it. So you need to list things. Tomorrow we're going to test your experiments and we're going to get a chance to test them to see if they work. And we need a procedure, step-by-step instructions of how you're going to do it. Let me finish and then you can ask, okay? Because other groups are going to be using your procedure, you have to make sure that you write neatly so we can understand what you've written. Okay, and remember you're predicting today, we're not testing. Okay, so I've got an example here to show you. It's exactly what you're going to be given, a sheet that looks like this. And I'm going to be kind, I'm only going to get one person in each, one for each group, so I'm not going to make everyone in the group write it, but you all need to help. You're going to get a sheet like this. Oh, there's a hypothesis there for you. So hypothesis is the prediction. This one says 20 star jumps will increase my heart rate by 50%. It's just a guess.
No.
Okay. What's something else that might increase your heart rate to 50%? What's a different hypothesis you might have, Scarlett? 30 star jumps will increase my heart rate by 50%. Yes, something else in star jumps maybe in time. Do you want to change your hypothesis?
5 push-ups.
5 push-ups. Yep. Remember yesterday we did activities over a minute too. Jake, have you got a different suggestion?
Running on the spot.
Yep.
For a minute.
Running on the spot for a minute will increase heart rate by 50% for 30 seconds. Different hypothesis. Well done, Jake. You can be more creative in that. We're going to have the whole room tomorrow. We can even move tables. We can bring in equipment. What's something else you could do that you think would increase your heart rate by 50%? Miriam?
Maybe 10 sit-ups.
10 sit-ups. Oh, gosh. 10 sit-ups. Catherine?
Running 10 laps around the room.
Oh, yeah, laps of only over is a good one, Catherine, but we're only really going to have this space here and out in the corridor, because remember, it's got to be captured on this camera. We can't take the camera with us. So try and think of something that we can do in this area. Shh. Hands up. Selena?
Maybe 20 burpees.
Oh, gosh, 20 burpees. You are fit. I hate burpees. Oh, at least it's not, it's push-ups. Push-ups are my least favourite. Callum?
Maybe you could do 100 back and forth.
Yeah, but we've only got Callum tomorrow. Our aim is to rotate through 7 different activities. We have to do 100 up and back. Do you think you'll get through all 7 activities in your group? Yeah, okay, 20. I like how you modified it. Well done, Callum. So you need to include your hypotheses. You need to list materials. Remember, we're timing it. What might you need to time an experiment? What did we use yesterday to make sure that we could keep track of time, Selena? iPad. You might need an iPad so your group, whoever's testing it, can keep track of their time. You might want some slips like we did yesterday so people can record. They might need a pencil. So you need to list all the equipment there that you need so I can have it ready for tomorrow to test. Okay? And then your procedure, it has to be detailed so people can follow it. Okay? So step 1, what would people do? Would they work out their beats per minute or would they do the activity? Have a think, yeah, so have a think about the order. So in our 15 minutes I'm going to give you in your groups, and I'm going to put you in your groups, I want you to fill out this experiment, design an experiment to increase someone's heart rate by 50%. Make your hypotheses, okay? List your materials, list your steps. It's 1 per group, so you have to decide as a group what your hypothesis is and what you need. Questions, Callum?
It depends on whose heart rate it is. Because if someone's heart rate is really high, then it might not increase much. Because if you did one of the activities, then you moved on to another, then it probably wouldn't increase it by 50%. The other one probably did work, because then it would already be quite high.
So Callum, you're saying we might find some differences in people and whether they can increase it by 50% or not. Yeah, that's a good point. We'll have a talk about that maybe after we do the experiments. Is that okay? Give me a give me a thumbs up if you understand what your task is with your group. So I'm going to remind you of your groups. Then I want you to sit in your group. Remember, one sheet per group, but it needs to be filled out. Ah, stop. Shh. Listen. Okay. Shh. Group 1. And you're going to be a downer person. So Callum and Raf, can you get together, please? So you just need to take a pencil. Callum, I suggest maybe go sitting next to Rayan, because he's there. Shh. Can I have group 2 find yourself a spot and get organised? O&E, Somo, Michael. Shh. Group 3, Jazzy, Miriam, Catherine. Shh. You do not need an iPad. We are doing the procedure. Shh. Jake, Xavier, Owen, because there's a spare seat. Shh. Yep. Chloe, Amara, shh. Can you work with Rebecca, because she wasn't here yesterday? Jessica, Ada, Scarlett, Al, Aiden, Daniel and Selena. Shh. You have 60 seconds to get in your groups. Go. Shh. Quiet groups can work in the shared space if you are quick. Would you 3 like to go into the shared space super quick? Shh. Miriam, who's in your group? Would you 3 like to use that table out there because you're super quick? Shh. Aiden, Selena and Daniel, there's this whole row over here. Do you want to come over to one of these spaces so you've got your own room? I'd like you to move. I'd like you to move, guys, for me. It's too crowded. That way you're going to hear other groups. Shh. Come on, Daniel. Yeah, you can choose. Come, Daniel, they're over here.
Yeah, come to the girls.
We don't have girls and boys, right?
Sit down.
Come on, buddy.
Like all together. 72?
So remember, we're not worried about this right now. We're worried about designing the experiment. So how are you going to increase someone's heart rate by 50%? What are they going to do?
20.
Well, that's what you have to talk about as a group. I'll go grab you a sheet. So what activity could I do? That might be a bit hard because groups...
I mean, you could do some gymnastics or something like that.
Rebecca, do you get how to calculate beats per minute? Okay, this group.
We have to do proper burpees.
Well, when you do your step-by-step explanation, you're going to have to really explain what a proper burpee is. Is 10 enough, though, to get a 50% increase, do you think? I guess we'll find out, won't we? We're not testing today, we're just coming up with it.
Burpees are star jumps and push-ups.
No, but I'll practice tonight and then maybe tomorrow. Shh. This group, what are you doing?
Mr. Davies said we could do a team name.
Yeah, you could do it. Yes, you can add in a team name up the top too. Of course you can. Well, if you want to do skipping out in the corridor or you need cones or something, it's up to you. It's your experiment. Just remember it is inside, so it's got to be appropriate. Okay? So girls, have you come up with an idea? So remember, you can have equipment that we can use inside. So if you want skipping ropes or you want some cones. Okay, quick, because you've only got about another 10 minutes before we have to get together. Shh. Yep.
I don't know where my fine liner went. I'll put it in my tablet now.
Well, has someone in your group got a fine liner to use you could borrow? We'll get you. This group, you really need to be getting this done and your materials quick because we need these done for tomorrow for us to actually do them, to do the fun stuff. Don't lose it, I'm not giving you another one. Shh, girls, come on, quick. Shh. Shh.
Do we do materials?
Yes, everything that someone will
We don't
need.
need anything to do.
Are they timing? Or do they need a pencil and a calculator to work out their beats per minute? Piece of paper, they'll need that sort of stuff.
Secret Super's closed for 10 weeks. Did you know that?
Sorry?
Secret Super's closed for 10 weeks.
Oh, gee, why are they closed?
Because they go on the green. Potato.
Now let's get to this part, because unless this is finished tomorrow, we won't be able to follow your hypothesis. So what are we going to do? What are you going to need? Shh. Awesome, Callum.
Paper and
Pencil to record, yep.
probably some film.
20 laps up and down corridor. Do you need some cones or stuff to mark which is a lap? We can get you some cones. How many do you need?
Obstacle courses with it.
Okay. And now you've got your...
Okay, I'm going to go.
Don't forget to add your steps in. What are they going to have to do? What do they start doing? One.
Okay, they first. Okay, so is it double the heart rate you got today or?
No, we'll probably do your resting heart rate. We can probably calculate that another day. We could work out that. So remember step by step what to do. Shh. 4 5s. Somo. Shh. You've got 5 more minutes, so be thinking about your materials. Shh. 1, 2, 3. Eyes on me. Eyes up. Just very aware of time. Once you've got your hypotheses, please move on. What equipment are you going to need? List it. Go on to your steps, step by step. So tomorrow, groups can follow your procedure and check your hypotheses. You need to have everything listed. Okay? Got 5 minutes before we have to stop.
What we're gonna pick.
So what is your hypothesis? What's something simple? Let's just get it done. But do people know what they are?
Yeah, I think people know what Barbies are. Like, no, please don't know.
What, or something that needs equipment maybe?
I don't know what needs equipment. Like trampoline.
No, is that something we can get in? We could get a skipping rope, or instead of star jumps, what about sit-ups or...
I know.
Yeah, but I don't.
Trip each other with a skipping rope. Wait,
Is that sensible?
No,
It's
but
like a Barbie, really.
you're like Wolf of America.
I feel like a lot of people know what, like, how to do Barbies.
Okay, well how many burpees or how long do they have to do the
Daniel says
burpees?
that he can't do a Barbie.
You too? Or you could do a squats.
Oh yeah? I did see this.
Oh, I hate squats.
Is that Harry Potter?
Do a squat for 60 seconds and see what happens, or a minute.
Barbies are better.
I would do, if you can't decide, I'll do rock, paper, scissors, and whoever wins gets to choose it because you need to move
Okay,
on,
what do you
okay?
wanna do?
Otherwise we won't be able to do your experiment tomorrow.
I just did push-ups. Oh god, I can't.
Shh.
Okay. 30 bursts. If we do 30 bursts, that's
Burpees, come on girls, you need to get a move on. Don't worry about your spelling, we can fix that later. Let's just get your idea. 30 burpees to increase will increase your heart rate by 50%.
That's 30 bursts.
Come on. You need to, once that's, don't forget increase by 50%. You need to have in there that will increase your heart rate by 50% and get down your thing. So who? Okay, how many or over what time? So what do you want it over what time
10, 15.
No.
or how many?
55. Wait, what?
Now remember, we've got to rotate around. Every person in a group's got to do your activity. Daniel, listen. Every person in a group's got to do your activity, and there's 7 groups. That's 21 times. Are we going to get? Are we
25.
over? Probably better, yeah. So 25. Who's our writer, Aiden? 25 burpees will increase my heart rate by 50%.
25. Wait, are we doing push-ups or
Oh, sorry, push-ups. Thanks, Daniel.
25 push-ups?
I hate push-ups.
Just one person.
I don't even want to do one.
25 push-ups.
Will increase my heart rate.
Yeah.
By 50%. Usually percentage sign is after that. Okay, so once they've done the push-ups, how are they going to measure it? What are they going to need to record their heart rate?
I don't know.
Well, they can't just...
Fingers.
Is that a sensible so we can compare it? So they might need a piece of paper and a pencil.
I guess. So weird.
Maybe a calculator if people aren't good at maths.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Well, Catherine knows. She's technically a calculator.
Pencil.
We can use Catherine as our calculator.
Now, what's your steps? What are they going to have to do first?
25 push-ups.
Yep, that's number 1, go. And then what do they do next? You might even want to explain how to do a push-up so they get it on your knees. Is it a full body push-up?
No, it's not. No.
I'll do, Celine, I'll make you do it. If you do them, I'll do them.
Well, I'm not doing.
Oh, come on. Howie, oh, you guys are awesome. What are you going to do to increase by 50?
Sure, just right in,
Just 5
in the open
burpees?
space.
Okay. So what equipment am I going to need? Paper, pencil, yep. Open space, yep. Beautiful. Have you told exactly how to do a burpee so they know?
Oh, wait. Yeah, what's that?
It's a microphone so they can hear me. Would you like to wear it tomorrow for me? Keep going, girls. What materials are you going to need to? Because 20 burpees will do what?
Why do you have a
Will increase, you need to put will increase my heart rate by 50%.
Why do you have a microphone?
Detail in
So they can
explaining how to
hear
do it, or keep it a bit simpler.
How are we going, girls?
Then maybe we would do more star jumps.
20 st- Just going to say you need to put in there will increase my heart rate by 50%, so we need the amount. Shh.
Follow, do you mean walk or do you mean run? Run? So maybe change that. Am I being pedantic if I'm saying what's a run? A sprint or a jog? Probably. Is it a sprint? Yeah, so really high intensity. Sprint outside of the car. Up and down the corridor. So you guys are doing a circuit. Alright.
Oh. Well done, Chloe's group. Look up, eyes on me. Okay. Shh. Let's do a quick share about some of our hypotheses to finish up, okay? Who wants to share their hypotheses? What do you think will increase heart rate by 50%? What is your hypothesis? Rebecca's group.
20 burpees will increase heart rate.
Good girl. I love how you said 20 burpees will increase heart rate by 50%. That's really important to have the increase by 50% in your hypotheses. Selena's group. 25 push-ups will increase my heart rate by 50%. Callum's group.
20 laps sprinting down the corridor as fast as you can go.
Will.
Increase your heart rate.
Love how you were very specific about where and how fast you had to run. Another group want to share Somo's group. Will.
Increase it by 50%.
Yep. Ada's group.
30 burpees will increase it by 50%.
Well done.
A lot of burpees.
Jake's group.
10 burpees will make your
Sorry, Callum and Ray aren't. Jake's sharing. Jake, can you repeat?
How many people want to do?
More burpees. Catherine's group.
Yeah, 20 starters.
Will.
Or might increase heart rate by 5%.
Okay, guys, we're not testing today, so we can test tomorrow. This is the most important part, or I won't know who's who. Can you make sure you have team names? Your names are at the top. You can even give your team a name as well, but I need to know. Can I also have a show of hands quickly? Who needs some more time to refine their procedure before our session tomorrow when we follow them, we test our hypotheses? Does anyone need some finishing off time? Okay. So I might have some finishing off time tomorrow between our soft start so they're ready to go for tomorrow afternoon session. Please make sure your name's on them. Okay? When your names are on them, you can come and put them on my table, please. And then you can pack up for today and sit down quietly. Off you go, everyone. Good job.
I just want to sprint down the corridor so many times. And the annoying thing is you gotta go down and back, and that's one.
We might have to have quietly down there because we can't disturb the other classes too in your procedure. Well done, Ada. Don't forget your sheet. Shh. Can I might collect. Shh. Stopping, listening. Can you do me a favour? I'd love to collect your little slips too. Can you put your name somewhere on your sticky note where you calculate your beats per minute as well as your beats per minute with an increase? Can you put your name somewhere? And can you also come and put it on my table, please?
I didn't put my name.
Shh. Oh, sorry, Rayan. I took yours as an example. I'll give it back. Put your name. Thank you. Then sitting back at your tables when you're done. Shh. I'm not going to collect yours and put it on my table, or my heart rate will increase by 50%. Careful, Michael. On my table. Okay. And sitting down, be really mindful of where the camera is, please. Shh. Well done, Owen. Shh. Hmm? No, it's still on this one. Potatoes. Your sheet should be on my table, or I won't have it for tomorrow. Oh, potatoes.
What can we do this here before we go out for a game?
Huh? Talk about it later. Shh. Thanks, Miriam. And it gives them time to pack up, so Mo, if we pack up, we could go out now. Okay, I promised Jake we all sitting. Are we ready? Shh. Daniel? Daniel done? No. Not repeating. Okay, Chloe's ready. Somo looks ready. Shh. Jake's definitely ready. Shh. Owen? Don't need one because we're going out for a game. You're with me? I didn't know that, Mrs. Chandra. Mrs. Chandra, now they have been...